What's up? Welcome to today's video. It's so rainy and stormy. It's dark at night. We're gonna be interrupted by like the lightning and the thunder. This is a video for anyone else who feels very different than how your other members of family choose to be. And it's something where you are born different and it's like you can't help it, and it's deemed as like a disability. It's deemed as like this kind of title where it's just you wanting to be successful in life, and you are kind of presented as your family doesn't understand you in the way where you don't understand yourself. So the point is, the difference is that you have accepting them and knowing that they're there is something to be aware of, and to do it without judgment. Know that's a very hard thing to do when other people, especially your family, put you in just a perspective of having you feel like you're less than. And so the whole cool thing is to know that you're more than in so many ways that even yourself are like, I'm less than on this, I'm less than on that. When you really listen to yourself, you'll realize that you've always been enough, in that the acceptance and way of who you're waiting to be accepted by is yourself. Nature is a really good confirmation, to be quite honest. If you're ever like, how do I accept myself? When you go through it, nature will confirm by like resiliency. And it's just you following your intuition first and foremost. Your intuition is such a great guide in ways of how you can really accept who you are today. And then tomorrow, you can have that awareness and be even more prepared for the next day. Because whatever it is in ways of individuals in your family, there's so many individuals in your family, like the ones who are mean, the ones who are like super loud and boastful in the way of their meanness. I know it's going to be incredible because manipulation seems to be up front. Mental manipulation. So funny, so funny. It is so lazy for other people to do. And it's also easy for other people to do. If you yourself, though, like honestly have been around people who you know manipulate other people, it's something about you yourself have that influence, and also they themselves could be doing that to you. Separation is key to getting back to you. It's crazy in the city. I grew up in the country, and I'm so like blessed to have that like stimulation, where in the city I am so overstimulated. And like I just was diagnosed with autism, and I'm 28. I go into the city. Like all my life I've lived in the country, and I go into the city, I'm like crazy in a way where I feel so unsafe, and I'm like so overstimulated, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like I never thought I would think that living in the country was like so cool, but now I'm like, it is so cool when I get to the country compared to the city, and I'm like, the change is so crazy. So it's kind of like if you grew up in an unsafe family, and you know, you don't have to shout yourself out, you don't have to shout anyone out. It's something where you know, acknowledging it, finding a way for you to convince yourself and believe that life outside of you wants you to feel safe It wants you to be in a safe position, and you yourself are doing this. When you allow yourself the small minutes of safety with yourself, the small moments, it will allow you to gain a lot more confidence to separate and step away from those who fill you with like unsafeness, whether they're family, friends, whoever. No one should be giving you that in a way where if they're not checking on themselves, if they're not like, I don't know, doing their part for themselves, and they give you energy of unsafeness, it's really serious to like look into in ways for yourself to feel safe. When you really want to manifest and grow in ways of like millions, first you have to get safe with yourself to do so. Like if you really want to manifest, you really got to get safe with yourself. So this is so cool in ways of law of attraction, vision boarding, y'all. Thinking outside the box, where on Pinterest, that's my home base to find like random pictures. You could think of it as MySpace too. You could even, I don't know if MySpace is still around, but check out their Tumblr also. I was like definitely a Tumblr gal before Pinterest. Also lookbook.nu has so many great like fashion outfit inspiration photos too. Instagram, I'm just kind of naming a lot of different sites where you yourself can already get pictures, information, ways that other people have gotten safe, where they've been in your situation. They've been in situations where other people too were crazy towards them, and they got themselves to a place where they're like totally good. All right. And not only totally good, but they're icons. A huge role model that I like to really think about, who's resilient and I always think is like amazing, Oprah Winfrey. All right. Story, I'm not going to go over her story in way of her like childhood and growing up, but it was horrendous, and she is such like an honorable person where I like look up to her. She's a heroine, like someone who is a hero, and just, I don't know, I love Oprah Winfrey, but like someone who came from a place where it was so hard to be optimistic for yourself. Like that's what I'm getting, and you yourself are that itself. Like just in the nick of time, that's all you got to think of. You'll be saved just in the nick of time. The fear that you feel, it's not to make you stop. It's to make you realize you're stronger in way of forgiving, where it's like trying to convince you, where nothing outside of you is more strong than you and the connection and love for yourself, hands down. And when you realize that, when you get to that place and you get to practice it over and over, you're going to realize and step away and realign, y'all, with connections, with individuals who feel safer, who will listen to you and hear you out, and not like discredit in a way where there should not be discrediting. There should be listening. It's like really interesting too. What comes to mind right now is how quickly things kind of get turned around when it's like something in turn you have to like just, it's like this disbelief where you yourself have to forgive the disbelief in you when it comes to you achieving all of these different things that you dream about, in a way where it's like safety is like set in stone. It's like set into a point where like these dreams are from a place where you build. In the first place is like a safe place, is where you build with yourself. Top 5 people that you're around the most are going to be the most influential people. So if they're pessimistic, that's it. If they're optimistic, that's it. How you can really tell too in ways of people, and seeing if their actions match their words is just that. If their actions match their words, Also noting in way of their own emotional handling, in way of outside chaos, and in different times, do you guys share similarities where we as human beings, y'all, we love to collab in chaos, okay? You know what I mean? And I think outside in way of nature itself loves to collab, okay? Like, it's its own best friend, okay? For me, it's like totally just every single different element in nature has like is its own like persona, personalities, you know, like the life itself. And you yourself, okay? If you want to think outside the box with me, you're like matching with the weather in a very unique way, and other people are too. Knowing that if you feel crazy that day, you yourself will also note a lot of other people in their cray cray, okay? This is where chaos is so interesting, where you don't have to partake in the chaos, y'all. You can forgive it and just watch around you as people choose to partake in the chaos. I myself am working on not partaking and just forgiving. But like I am getting there. Okay, I have like anger issues and just I do not need to have any judgment right now. I don't know why I'm judging any other person. Look at me. I need to go hug a tree. Even that just then, I get on myself for judging people, and I feel like that's judging myself. So I'm kind of like going about it still in a very like warrior kind of way, where it's kind of like being called to be a lot more going with the flow on it. And you're kind of just watching someone get better, where you're like starting out with like this kind of medicine. You watch as someone kind of hopefully gets better with that medicine. Maybe not. That's kind of what's happening right now for you. The perspective of yourself, I mean, is like, what kind of medicine do you need right now to heal the perspective of you right now? But like, you're totally good with whatever you're trying to do. With every single day, there's like a couple things, maybe one thing, I'm not really sure. It's like a goal you haven't achieved yet, where it's like set in stone, you have it in your hands, it's tangible. And something where still in the works. The thing about the whole still in the works is it's going to work. All right? It's absolutely going to work. Hands down. That's the first thing to really, really implement in your kind of like perspective of self, is you're choosing, and you're choosing correctly, okay? In ways where when you really allow yourself to forgive whatever you're focused on, especially when you're frustrated at something else outside of you, that in of itself is so strong of a character right now for like leadership quality too, okay? And just learning with chaos, the minute you emotionally respond is, and this is like when you notice a distraction outside of you away from whatever you're doing in the moment, and it's like an instantaneous next kind of moment, if you will, in the future. It's something where it's legitly like you have to allow yourself to bring yourself back into your moment and away from whoever else outside of you is in their moment. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of a gift for you to get yourself the way you do. Like how I do with me, where I can't believe I have autism at 20. I can't believe I have autism. Like, I went my whole life thinking, oh, I'm just eclectic and everything, and I am. But, like, I have, like, interesting, like, things about me now that I'm just, like, it explains a lot of, like, why I was so harsh on myself and why my perspective with myself was so like hard to get. And like that in of itself, me being hard on myself, not saying it's okay, but me accepting that yes, I'm very hard on myself is the first thing that's like really good for me to like be aware of. And especially when I'm really hard on anyone else, I like definitely need to be aware of that. And it's really cool to be safe with yourself. Okay, like first and foremost, if any kind of kid wants to be cool, being safe with one's own self is like so cool. It's so hot. It's so sexy. Like it's something that like could totally help the world in of itself within all of us. But for realsies, just learning about who you are as you get older could be very shocking. Like for me, where like I've been diagnosed with so many mental disorders and such, but it's a relief to just kind of have confirmation in ways where I've always been hesitant also, and kind of looking it up and, you know, just, I don't know. But the more that people kind of are more honest about who they are in ways of like them having autism and being like, oh, like, you know, I didn't know also, and then I found out later. I'm not the only like 28-year-old who found out they have autism. People find out later. What is kind of in of itself is like for my own experience, and that of itself is something that I don't know, I myself kind of have a hard time grasping sometimes, where I get so focused on that side of me, and within me is like the most important thing to focus on in any moment. So it's like crazy of like revelation of like, wow. No wonder I like to like hug the trees, and like no wonder I prefer animals over people in so many ways, where I still love people. You know what I mean? Maybe more so in the past now. Right now I'm going through stuff. Like once I stop, you know, once I figure out myself and get to landing in way of home within me, you know what I mean? Like I find my home again. I might be lost at sea right now. I am dedicated to finding myself again, where I know, okay? I know myself. I know, because I like have just been grieving, but y'all, like it's like I have also just kind of, I don't know, started really caring for myself after a breakup, and that also just, you know, things led so many different ways, where if you yourself really want to take care of yourself, hands down, whatever you need to do it, you know? It's for yourself. It's for you to feel safe with yourself. And understanding who you are is like a really great way to be safe with yourself. Knowledge is power, yes. Knowledge is also a way to know how to be safe. Like self-defense is not something you learn in way of being born. It's something that you have to like learn in way of you survived through something horrific, and now you know like life outside is never, you know, life outside is never to be trusted as much as you trusting yourself. You know what I mean? We're like, I want you to trust me, but I want you to trust yourself more. If I say stuff that makes you emotionally reactive, please walk away from me. All right? And like discontinue until you feel ready to come back. Because it's the whole emotional stability when it comes to interactions with people, where it's like when you're stable with yourself emotionally, try connecting with people, and then connect with people when you're not stably, or when you're not emotionally stable, and see the difference. And how to do that, I really don't have the knowledge yet, but it's definitely something with your breath, and it's definitely something with online, other people, you know, the educated sort. Like, I'm totally checking that out after this too. But I don't know. I hope this has helped guide you and helped you feel a bit less like, what the heck, in ways of, it's all good if you don't understand yourself, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully, knowing I have autism will help me with also social interactions and just being safe with myself in ways where I can't wait, y'all, to be even more safer with me and with the world. You know what I mean? And then my life's gonna be so cool, even more so, in places where, like, I'm really glad. It's gonna be really passionate and hot in other places where I'm, like, really glad. I can't wait in the future to come. Right now, deep breaths of peace and prosperity and forgiving my frustrations. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so that's the video. That's the message. I hope that it helped guide you and just helped you feel a bit more okay with who you are in such a chaotic world outside right now. You know what I mean? Let's get calm inside in ways where you're perfect as you are right now. No matter how you feel, who you are is perfect. Perfectly perfect for me. All right? This one person in the world. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time and your unique energy and your vibe and what differences and ways that you make the world better because of. Thank you so much for being with me today. I'll see you in another video. Bye, y'all.